Hey friend, I'm Melissa and welcome to my kitchen. So today we're going to be making fire cider. Now, it's getting to be winter out, it's getting cold, dark, and all of the colds are coming out. So fire cider is known for all of these ingredients that help you medicinally. Each and every one of these ingredients has their own purpose to be in this fire cider. So we've got garlic cloves, we've got rosemary, we've got turmeric, hot peppers, an orange, a lemon, and a lime. And then I've got one red onion and one white onion, just what I had in my fridge. Ginger, peppercorns, cranberries, and what puts this all together is apple cider vinegar. So we're going to be making 2 half-gallon jars today. So I'll bring these over here. And then we're gonna be getting all of our ingredients into these jars and then adding the apple cider vinegar on top. So let me just organize myself here. Then I'll need a cutting board as well. So the first thing we're going to chop up is ginger. Now, I'll be quite honest, I am very brand new to the herbalism world, and the honey stud actually, they influenced me heavily to try this recipe, to see how natural ingredients can help your body just as well, or maybe even better, as the ones you see in a pharmacy. So already just chopping this ginger up, definitely noticing a smell here. Now, I've never actually chopped up ginger before. Another way to do this is also to shred it, but I figured I'm using the cutting board and knife today anyway for the onions and the citrus, that I would just go ahead and chop it as well. Now, I will say that this recipe did call for horseradish root. I could not find it anywhere. I went to 3 different grocery stores and it was nowhere to be seen. So that is a very valuable thing to have in this fire cider. However, today I won't be adding it. Now, when you use ginger in recipes, when you're eating them, you definitely want to peel the ginger, but I won't be peeling it today because we're going to be straining this after the waiting period is over. So, ginger actually is known for its anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and it actually helps stop the spread of any illness or cold out there. Another thing about it that I've read is it's actually good for arthritis and muscle pain. Okay, so I've got my garlic all chopped up here. So now we're going to take our 2 jars and we're going to evenly distribute it between the 2 jars here. Okay, so now next up we've got our cranberries here. Now also at the grocery stores I could not find any fresh cranberries. So I went and bought a frozen bag. So they are a little squishy, but that's okay. Now, I forgot I was doing 2 jars here, so I only grabbed enough for 1 jar. So let me be back and grab more. Okay, we've got our bag here. They smell good. So cranberries prevent bacteria from growing. They also prevent the bacteria from lining urinary tract systems. So very beneficial to have in this fire cider here. So now we're going to chop up our citrus. So we've got an orange here. Now again, we don't need to peel it because we're going to be straining the liquid off once we're done here. I'll move my jars here so you can see what I'm doing. I just got this knife for my birthday and I am loving it. So now oranges. They obviously have a lot of vitamin C in them. They have potassium in them and are also a very good antioxidant. If you haven't noticed, the theme here are the antis, vitamins, and everything that can ward off sickness. Alright, look at that orange here. So the oranges are going to go in. I'm going to do half in each jar. Now I'm putting them in one by one just to make sure that there's more surface area that's going to touch the apple cider vinegar. Now next we have our limes. So very similar to oranges. They have the vitamin C, they have the potassium, but citrus, specifically lemons and limes, also have magnesium. It's already smelling good in here. Okay, next we have our lemon. Oh, the sticker! I hope there wasn't a sticker on the lime. Okay, so now we got our lemon cut up, so I'm going to divide this in half again, and then we're going to get them into the jars. Now, I'm making this kind of late in the season. Typically, I've heard that you want to start this maybe October, November area, but currently it's mid-December. So I'm hoping that I'll get my use out of it still, even though it's a little late in the season. So we've got our onions here now. I'll take off the peels just because those aren't really going to marinate too well in the apple cider vinegar since they're a little papery. Now, if you're making a broth later on, these very well flavor the broth because you boil out the papers and make them soft. But I'm not going to do that today, so I'm just going to throw them out. So we've got our white onion, and then I will chop that up. Now I'm going to stop halfway because then I don't have to figure out how much I need to put in each jar. So I am very new to herbalism, like I said earlier in the video, and I'm just kind of winging it here. But I very much like the Honeystead for all of their videos that they bring to us. In the spring, I'll be planting my very first garden as well, so that's exciting. Now I've got a lot of mixed scents going on here. This is a little weird to have citrus and onion together. Okay, look at that so far. Very pretty. Again, with these papers, move me a little closer to the edge of the counter here. Okay, in half, that makes my math easy. So onions have a lot of vitamin C. They boost your immune system. They've got quercetin in them, and they help your body fight off sickness as well. So again, all of these have a theme to them, and they're all trying to do one thing: keep you healthy in the winter. Now, I live in Ontario, Canada, so the winters do get relatively cold. Last week, it typically is around -5 to -10 here, but last week it went all the way down to -23 where I am. So that's a little chilly. So now we've got all of our onions chopped, so I'll get those in the second jar here. And I think I'm gonna grab another orange out of the fridge, just because it's looking like we're not gonna have enough to fill the jar here. So we've got our second orange here. Again, I'm going to cut it in half. And I'm seeing the sticker on this one before I cut it off. And I'm going to cut it this way just because cutting it in half made it a little harder to handle here. So the more you cut it, the more surface area touches the apple cider vinegar, which means the more it infuses as well. Which is really what we're going for. If I just cut this orange in half, there would only be that one side that it can infuse on, so. Now, I have never personally tried fire cider, so in about a month after it is finished brewing, per se, then I will go ahead and try some and see what I think. Okay, so now we have our hot peppers. So the recipe that I found online from the Honeystead, one of their videos, it called for cayenne pepper. But again, things come in threes. I couldn't find any cayenne peppers. So what I've got here are pencil hots. So I'm gonna use every part of it, except the stem. I'm gonna cut that off. And then I'm going to slice it. We wanna keep the seeds in. And I'm going to use 2 of these peppers, 1 per jar. They smell so good. I am one that likes spicy things. So peppers are known to be an antioxidant. They help your immune system. And they also have vitamin C and vitamin K in them. This goes the same with the jalapeno peppers. They smell very good. This was actually a little bit intimidating to me before I tried this, or before I started. Just because it's a new thing for me. Okay, so that was 2 pencil hots that just went in. Now I'm gonna put 2 jalapenos, and it's 1 per jar. Now, because these are a little bit thicker, I'm going to cut them in half first, and then slice them up. And you don't have to worry about taking the seeds out, because they're part of what you want in this. Okay, now my second jalapeno. I'm trying not to get my right hand with the juices of the jalapeno. So that's why I'm using my knife to lift it in. Scrape up those seeds. Okay, Okay, now I'm gonna just give my hands a quick wash here. I've always got so many towels on the go. Okay, look at our jars now. They're very colorful. We've got our reds, our oranges, greens, yellows, brighter red, and a pure green. So let me check our list here. We've got ginger so far, cranberry, orange, lemons, limes, onions, jalapenos. So now we need our garlic. So, no, you don't need this much garlic. We need about 2 cloves per. So this garlic I purchased because I'm going to freeze dry it into garlic powder. So I'm doing 3 for this one just because these 2 are small. And then those go in. So, and then we've got our 3 dry ingredients here. We've got our turmeric, and we're gonna need about 1 tablespoon for this. Now, this is another thing that I couldn't find in the grocery store, turmeric root. So preferably you put turmeric root in it. But I couldn't find any of that, so I'm doing what I can and using turmeric powder. And then next up we have our rosemary. So I don't mind if my spices coincide because everything is for personal use. So I'm going to use the same tablespoon. And then this time we're going to get 2 tablespoons in per. Okay. So, and then last but not least, we've got our peppercorns here. Oh, and for the garlic, it has a lot of antioxidants in it. It helps the body fight and heal, which is another thing that we want, and it's got vitamin B and vitamin C. Then for the turmeric, it's anti-inflammatory. And then the rosemary, it's an immune booster, it helps with brain function, it's anti-inflammatory, and it helps flush out your body. Try and recover faster. So now we've got our peppercorns in here, and then we want a tablespoon per. Try not to make a mess here. There we go. So I can put the cutting board away. I'll get my labels off of here before I wash them. My camera battery just died. So sorry about that. So we have our peppercorns in here. We've got our turmeric, we've got our rosemary, we've got our garlic, jalapenos, pencil hot peppers, orange, onion, lime, lemon, cranberries, and ginger. So now what we're going to do, we're going to first close up the peppercorns before I spill them everywhere. We're going to add in our apple cider vinegar and attempt not to make a mess. So we want to cover everything. That way nothing will go bad while it's in the jar. And I'm going to use a funnel for this just to have a little more luck on my side. So apple cider vinegar going in. Now, when we're choosing apple cider vinegar, we want to make sure it's the component that has the mother in it. Oh, that smells so good. So the mother is what has all of the beneficial nutrients in it. If we were to use apple cider vinegar without the mother in it, it wouldn't have the same effect to it. That just smells so good already. So apple cider vinegar is probiotic, and it actually kills bacteria in your system. So again, on theme, all of it is fighting against colds, against sickness, and against the cold weather itself. So I'll put the lid back on that. Kind of clean up our mess a little bit here. So now you can see that my ingredients are floating a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a lid on there. I'm going to actually stir it first a little bit. Not realizing that the rosemary would stick to the spatula. And that the peppercorns would stick in the spatula. Okay, so now I'm gonna go grab 2 lids for these. I'm gonna use plastic just because vinegar and metal, it tends to rust metal, so I'm gonna use the plastic lids for this. And then what we're going to do is every day for a month, we're going to come in and stir it around a little bit. You can already see the color in there. I think I'm gonna top it up with the apple cider vinegar, I think. There's too much exposed. And I don't know if it'll make enough liquid if I don't otherwise, so. That looks better. It ran down a little bit on the bottle. Okay, so now we're going to get the lids on. We're going to shake them up a little bit. You can really see the turmeric in that liquid. Just make sure that everything is touching the apple cider vinegar and it's going to give you the best outcome. Now again, I'm a rookie. I don't know what I'm doing. I've just watched a bunch of videos. So I'm hoping to share this one with you for a beginner. So every single day, I'm going to stir this, and it's going to be stored in a dark, cool place, probably in one of my cabinets. And then after a month or so, I'm going to strain it off, and then I'm going to add honey to it. Honey is also another very beneficial ingredient to add to your daily intake. And it'll just sweeten this up a little bit because I can tell right now it's going to wake you up in the morning. Well, there you have it, friends. So this is the fire cider that I'm going to make, and then I'll probably give you an update in about a month or so and tell you how it is. See you in my next video. Thanks for watching.